welcome to the second video. So in this video I will be breaking down the costs of moving from Korea to China. Okay, the process that I had to go through, how much it costs. It's up to you what to take away from. Like, I'll just give you the cost of everything, obviously depending on the time now, whether you have to quarantine and whatnot. You can just minus that from the total cost, right? So I'll just give you an experience of what happened, what I had to pay for and what I had to do to get to China. Okay, so yeah, anyway, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, please do not forget to subscribe. If you're new, please do not forget to subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning, my love. So yeah, basically I moved from South Korea to China September 12th. Yeah, right? September 12th. So my contract ended in August 31st, right? So what I had to do was, okay, I first looked for a job, looked for an agent, a job, Dave ESL. That's the first thing you do. I looked for a job, I got an agent. During that process, when I was like speaking with the agent, her getting me like interviews and whatnot, I quickly did a medical checkup, because it's kind of pointless for you to go through the whole interview process and then only to find out that you've got sicknesses that they don't allow in China, right? So I think that's the most important thing that you need to do if you're trying to look for a job in China. So when I think I found her on a Sunday. On a Tuesday, I went to do my medical checkup, and that was done. The results came back the next day, and they were great. So yeah, so we had interviews. I got my first job in Liaoning. It's like the north of China. It was EF, and I was just placing a girl, and she ended up not leaving, so I had to redo the interview process again, and I got another job from EF, right, here in Qingdao. And I liked Qingdao because it was very close to Korea, and it's in the coast, right? So I'm from Durban, so I like the coast. I don't like being inland. Like, I like the coast. Even in Korea, when I was living closer to Seoul, I didn't like it. I liked living in Ulsan because I could go to the beach anytime I wanted to. Same thing here. So I like the fact that it's in the coast. Yeah. Anyway, I did my health check. So I will do the costs for things in Korean won. You guys would have to convert yourself, right? Convert things, because I will convert at the end of the video. I will keep chopping, going for rands, wons, because I was working with people from South Africa and people from Korea and some people from China. So I was working with 3 currencies. It's up to you which one you prefer, and then you can just convert. And yeah, anyway, the medical health check was 120,000 won, right? So to do this one, you need to go to a big hospital, ideally a university hospital. They won't give you any issues. So what you do, you take the Chinese form that your agent's going to give you, you go there, and they will translate, and then they'll move the information to the Chinese form, I guess. Yeah, because they'll give you their own results, but those results have to be translated to Chinese. They have to be transferred to Chinese form, right? So okay, I did that. It was 120,000 won. And then I had gotten the job. After I got on the job, I needed to do a PCC. So if you've been in South Korea for more than 6 months, you have to do a PCC in Korea and a PCC in South Africa. The documents you submitted in South Korea don't work anymore. You're now doing a whole new process for China. So I did my Korean PCC. Korean PCC is free. You go to a police station nearby. You go with your ARC and 2 pictures of yourself, right? You get there, and they're going to take your details, and then you get your PCC, criminal record check, after 5 days, right? And then after 5 days, you take that PCC, you go to MOFA, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's in Seoul. You don't have to go there personally. I called them, so I googled their phone number on Kakao Maps. I went to Kakao Maps, I googled their location and their number, and I called them. Luckily, some of them could speak English, and I asked them, what do I need to do to get my stuff authenticated, right? Apostilled. Hey, I don't know which is which. Authenticated, right? And they told me I need to send the CRC to them in Seoul. I have to put the CRC in an envelope, put a postage receipt, something like that. But it's like you pay. It's money, 1,001. You pay at the post office. You put that there. Your passport ARC copies in there, and the return envelope paid for, so that when they're done, they can put that in that envelope and they return it to you. And I did that. It took 5 days, and then they returned it back to me with a sticker at the back, right? And then I had to do my South African PCC, which is what took longer than everything that I'm going to explain to you. The process in South Korea, everything can take a month, but the one thing that will take long is the South African PCC. Ciao. So the Korean PCC basically cost me the postage fee, which was 3,700 won, the stamp, which was 1,000, and the taking pictures was 35,000 for the PCC. So maybe the PCC is going to cost you 40,000 won in total, right? And then South African PCC, I had to do it in South Africa. The agent that I was using charged me 4,750 with the return fee. Like, she had to post things to me. So basically she was 3,900, but then she added 900 rands or 800 rands for imali ukuthi apose izinto angilethele zona eSouth Korea. That's in rands. You can convert it to wons or Chinese yuan, up to you. But I paid her in rands. So my fingerprints, I went to the police station. So basically your agent, whoever you deal with, is going to give you the PCC form that for fingerprints, and you can go either to the South African embassy or any police station closest to you, and you can ask them to do fingerprints for you. Naturally, they're supposed to sign that they did the fingerprints for you, but they don't agree, which is fine. Your agent will take care of that. Maybe they'll ask someone to help out at the police station in South Africa. Take your fingerprints or whatever the agent that you're going to be dealing with ask you to put in the envelope, and then you post to South Africa, right? It's a good thing to note that in China, when you're applying for a job, while you're doing the process, they don't need all the documents physically. Everything that they're asking you when you get it, you send a scan. When you get it, you send a scan, right? So when the PCC is done in SA and it's being posted to you, ask the agent that, hey, listen, don't post it, just post it, but before you post it, take a picture of it, because that's what I need so that your process can move along without having to wait for your PCC, right? So that's a SA PCC. So we've done medical check, South African police clearance, Korean police clearance, right? These documents are with you physically, but pictures, you're sending them to your agent. Another one is a TEFL, okay? If you have a TEFL and if you don't have, it's either you have a TEFL or you have 2 years experience, yeah? Excuse me, I have 2 years experience. So I did not need a TEFL. They said to me, you can, just send us a picture of the TEFL. You don't have to authenticate it. But if you don't have 2 years, you have a TEFL, you have to authenticate it. It has to go where? To South Africa and authenticate it along with your degree. I'm going to explain the degree part. So that would cost whatever amount, whatever the agent is going to cost you. I do not know how much of TEFL to authenticate, how much it is to authenticate a degree, a TEFL. And then the degree, there's two options for you to authenticate or apostille a degree. Oh, no. I'm skipping a step. With the Korean PCC, when you're done, you have to apostille it at the embassy, right? Korean embassy, Chinese embassy, right? So after that 40,000, that 35,000 that you had to pay for pictures, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000 for posting, 1,000 for a postage fee, or whatever, you have to go to the embassy to apostille it now. To apostille is 45,000 won. You go to the embassy, you make an appointment on the internet, Chinese embassy. You go either, they've got 4 or 5, one in Jeju, one in Busan, one in Seoul, one in Gwangju, I think. Yes, I went to the one in Busan. You book an appointment, you say that you want to authenticate a document, and they'll tell you a date to come through. You come in, you give it to them, and it's either you come fetch it yourself or they post it to you. I asked them to post it to me, so it's going to be a little bit extra, maybe 8,000 more extra for them to post it to you when they're done. 3 days they were done. It was back with me within 5 days. Yeah, that's that with the PCC, right? So the total cost of Korean PCC, let's just say 90,000, 90,000 won. SAS PCC 4,750, right? Okay, TEFL I do not know, because I had 2 years of experience. I just had to have my old school write me a letter. I went back to the school. I wrote them a message, and I told them, hey, I need a reference letter, and they gladly wrote it for me, and they posted it to me. And then my current school, the one that I was working for, my boss was taking so long to write the letter. Somehow my school was like, the school that I work for now in China was like, you know what, it's okay, we'll just work with the 18 months that you got from your own school. So basically on paper I have 18 months in Korea, but teaching wise it's 2.5 years. But I don't have a reference letter for the year, because we just gave up. He was just taking the owner, because they changed owners. The new owner was not doing it. He was just like, I'll do it. But like, I'll do it. It takes 2 weeks. That's my time, so we just decided to try and just get the visa process going with just the 18 months. I'm not sure that everyone else would have that luck, but yeah. Anyway, I had the reference letter. And then the next one is your degree. The degree part has 2 ways to do it. The one part is to send it to South Africa. You wait for SACA, and then you go to DECO, and then you go to the embassy, right, of China. So I did not do that because that would have taken a year. I did it through China. So how you do it through China, you go through there's a process that you pay about 300 yuan, which is about 700 rands or 750 rands. So I had an agent do it for me here. Because I do not have a Chinese account, I had an agent do it for me here. So I ended up paying 1,500 yuan, which is 4,200 rands, which is fine. It takes 5 days. They authenticate it within 5 days, and then the Chinese government gives you back a PDF of the authentication or whatever. So now I had the degree. So now I have all my documents. I've got a passport, obviously. So you need South African PCC, an SA PCC, Korean PCC, wait, one more time, health check, Korean PCC, South African PCC, reference letter, a degree authenticated, right, and apostilled, and you need a picture of yourself and PDF, and you need a passport, right? Remember, a reference letter if you have 2 years experience, or a TEFL if you do not have 2 years experience. Now, these 7 things, pictures of them, just pictures of them, you send them to your school starts the visa process. You get what? Work permit. When you get the work permit, you make an appointment with the embassy of China, and you go to that embassy to apply for a visa. Now, the visa itself needs the work permit. You need to be vaccinated, unfortunately, to come to China. You need a certificate of vaccination. You need a certificate of entry and re-entry. The last time you left Korea. When was the last time you entered Korea? For me, it was easy. I entered Korea 2020. I've never left after that. I've never re-entered at the airport. I've never traveled internationally. So it was 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, when I was applying. And then they need picture, I think. What else did they need? I'm trying to think the things they needed. But basically, once you have those 4 things, the letter of entry and re-entry expires within 24 hours. So if you get it today, you have to go tomorrow. If you do not go tomorrow, you have to get a new one tomorrow so that you go the next, like that. So because they want the latest time that you entered Korea, right? So I went to the embassy to apply for a visa. Was 55,000 won, and then it takes 3 days. 3 days. The first time I applied, I got rejected because my school had issued the work permit for Seoul, but I was going to apply in Busan. So they were not matching. My work permit was issued for Seoul embassy, but I went to Busan, so I got rejected. So I had to make a new work permit, which took 5 days, and I had to go again, and then I was finally approved. And then now this is when the real costs start. Yes. Now you have to do tests, 2 tests for COVID. That was in September, right? the restrictions in China were crazy. You have to do 2 COVID tests, one 48 hours before I leave, one 24 hours before I leave, right? Leave the country. Each one costs about 120,000 won. And my apartment, I had to be out August 31st, so I had to book a hotel for about 3 days before I left. But that's just a cost for me. Okay, so the 240 for COVID tests. And the flight, because I'm coming to a smaller city, I'm not going to Shanghai. People that were flying to Shanghai paid way less than I did. My flight was 2.250 million, which was about 32,000 rands. And when I got to China, I had to pay. Oh, and then I took extra luggage, which was about 160,000 won. I had to convert some money for me to spend in China before I get paid, and I would think that was like 15,000 rands. And I had to pay for quarantine. Quarantine was about 1,800 kwai, maybe like 5,007. How much? How much was it? 1,500. It was 2,200. No, it was 3,000. About 7,000 rands. My quarantine was about 7,000 rands. And then when I got to my apartment here in China, I had to pay a deposit and the agent fee, which was together the 5,000 kwai. That is 10,000, 15,000 rands. And then I had to pay for a SIM card. The SIM card was about 1,200. And then I had to pay for Wi-Fi for the whole year. That was 1,500. Basically. And then that was that. But when I calculate the cost for everything, my costs for everything amounted to 102,000 rands, 102,500 rands. But if anyone is moving here now after COVID, chances are you'll pay a fraction of that, maybe like 50 something thousand, because there's no quarantine anymore. Well, I don't know about deposits. It depends on your school. I did not want to live where there's not inside the school, because I work for a training center. So you have to pay deposits and agent fees. So that was that. But depends on your school and what the agreement is with your apartment contract. They will some pay or you pay. So that was that. But like now, if you move, the costs are a little less, much cheaper and much affordable. But me at the time, I had to cough out 102,500. But anyway, I hope this info was helpful. But there's nothing, I did not have anyone guiding me to do the process. I was one of the first people to leave Korea for China. If not the first, I don't know. But everything I did, I was guided by myself. Internet is your best friend. Kakao Talk. Ask people, talk to people. There was a point where I found myself walking into a law firm in Korea. I'm asking them about authentication, and this lady sat me down and she explained. Ask people, use a translator. Don't because I feel like this whole thing of language barrier and everything, it makes you just be like, and then you stop doing things. My process was long, and because I took texts to there, and I was getting lost. I was searching things on the internet because there was no one helping me. Even with flights, there was no one helping me. I had to, like it was bad, but at the same time, I appreciate it now. But I had no one guiding me. Like now, because so many people have now moved from Korea to China, we sort of have more or less an idea of what to do. But for me, I was one of the first people to leave, and it was hard. It was hard, and you know, getting the information, because I thought I had to use the same documents that I have in Korea, and still asking and going and asking people and talking to people. That's when I found out, no, you have to do the process all over again. But like basically just do your research. Like let the internet be your best friend, and if not, ask Koreans. Like speak to people, go to immigration, ask for things, go to the embassy, ask for things, call, make phone calls. Even if you think there's no one that's going to speak English, they'll find someone. People are helpful sometimes, like try not digbali, and also try to just get information by yourself, because sometimes guys would ask the weirdest of questions ever. Like, did you try Google first? Like the question of where do you find jobs in China? I doubt those people ever use the internet, because if you go literally on jobs in China, a plethora of platforms pop up and you can find jobs on there. So yeah, basically, yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Anyway, if you like this, please subscribe and watch new videos that I make. And yeah, basically, I might make an apartment tour, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, have a great week, and yeah, goodbye.